What's going on, guys? This is your boy Mr. Lewis, and I'm here to give my review of the movie Five Nights at Freddy's 2. I seen the first movie, and I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was the greatest. And then after watching the second one, I came to the conclusion where I was very disappointed with this one. I didn't like it. Now, I wouldn't call myself like a huge fan, but I've definitely played a good portion of the video games and I know of the lore. And this goes to show you that adaptations, even when you do the source material to the T, it doesn't always translate well with live action. But I don't think that was my issue with this film. My issue with this film, if anything, was that it was inconsistent. Point example, and I will probably touch base on some spoiler territory if you don't know the lore of Five Nights at Freddy's, or even if you do, I am gonna spoil some parts of the movie. I think one of the biggest things that I did like with this movie was, of course, they have the beginning set up with the Mariette and Charlotte and how she becomes the Mariette. I thought that was fine. And then it goes into the segment where it goes back to Mike and Abby. That was from the original movie. And even still, it gives me the sense of like, okay, I need to care about these characters. I still feel like I don't really feel a lot from these characters. Like, give me something to care about these characters, especially Abby, since she's supposed to be more of the heart of the movie. But I felt like even in this movie, she wasn't supposed to be the heart of this movie as much as she was the heart of the first movie. I feel this was more of Vanessa's story, who's the daughter of William Afton from the first movie, the lead antagonist. And I honestly would have thought it would have been better if they would have focused on her story more, actually just have that story as like just the main portion of the film. And that would have been better. That actually would have been better. The sequence with the Mariette from the beginning, and then you have the poltergeist people coming into the Freddy Fazbear, leading on to Vanessa battling with her demons in the process of her father was a murderer and trying to cope with that, and then trying to rescue the family of those that wronged Charlotte. I can get that out before, from the very beginning of the movie, and having her trying to cope and come to terms that, okay, I have to get a hold of this, and then save the parents of those that have wronged my friend from the past. And honestly, that could have been the entire movie. I felt like I would have enjoyed the movie a lot more had it been a bit more focused. Or if you was going to go to the other spectrum, have the whole entire film focus on Mike and Abby. Like, put Vanessa way in the background. And it just went back and forth with those two things, which I was like, okay, so who am I supposed to care more for? Abby or Vanessa? Where I was like, I feel like I should care more about Vanessa rather than Abby. My other inconsistency about the film is when you do focus on Abby's portion, you're supposed to care about her character more because she has absolutely no friends. Absolutely everybody has ostracized her. Kids at school, her teacher, which I thought they played that pretty well up in the film, with just the teacher just being a complete and utter just dirtbag to her throughout the entirety of the film. But the inconsistency is that the fact of she actually had friends. Sure, there was probably one person that called her weird, but she actually had someone say, hey, you want to come sit with us? So she had friends. And then her response to her brother later on in the film is, all my friends are not real. I'm like, literally just show that you had some friends or people that actually wanted to hang out with you. It's kind of hard to root for you at that point. By no means am I expert at directing or doing movies, but that help create that suspense and claustrophobic tension in movies. I would have had a segment where Mike is the one that has to get away from the animatronics, and as he's running, he has to crawl through the vents in order to get away from the gang of animatronics, and Balloon Boy is actually in the vents trying to get closer to him. Another segment that I can say that I thought had potential in the film is that in the last 30 minutes of the film, they actually do put it where you're at the very first Five Nights at Freddy, where you're sitting at the security office desk and you're looking from your right to your left in front of you when the animatronics come. And they even use the bit where they actually use the mask to hide yourself so the animatronics doesn't jump scare you or attack you. I thought that was a pretty good segment, but I was really upset with the fact that when they actually showed Balloon Boy for the very first time, not once does he says hi or hello or go crawling through the vents that he normally did in the game. Would have been more like fuel intensified, just scary bits right there. Even the segment with the Mariette I thought was really good and quite creepy. They could have played more on that, but once again, just wasted potential. And just some other little tidbits that were just inconsistencies throughout the film. For instance, the animatronics, which I think they're done beautifully well, but throughout the entire film, when you're hearing them walk around, you actually do hear them walk around, and then when they actually pop up on someone, it's dead silent. They just go straight Michael Myers or Jason with it. That's inconsistent. As far as I know, the only fast and sneaky animatronic that is there is Foxy, because he's the only one that's quick and fast in the game. And I feel like the movie really didn't get going until like the last 30 minutes of the movie, where I actually was catching some traction, and I felt bored with it. And it sucks because I really want to see these movies succeed. Now that we're at an era where it looks like video game movies and television show adaptations are actually getting better, this wasn't one of them. Here's to hoping that we can have better video game movie adaptation, or at least they can learn from the mistake with this third movie. I don't know if I'll see the third movie, but we'll see. But that was my review of Five Nights at Freddy's 2. What were your thoughts on it? You can comment down below if you liked the movie. Felt like an hour and 30-minute movie was wasted on me. So I'll catch you guys in the next video. Hope you have a great day, and take care.